Have you ever wondered how your eyes capture and process images around you? The human eye, a marvel of nature, serves as an intricate camera, capturing light and transforming it into the images we perceive. Working in unison with the brain, the eye deciphers color, depth, and movement, painting a vivid picture of our surroundings. But how does this happen? How does this beautiful ballet of light and perception come to be? To understand this, we need to delve into the anatomy of the human eye. So, what makes up our eyes? Well, think of the eye as a highly sophisticated camera. The cornea is the clear, dome-shaped surface that covers the front of the eye. Just like the protective glass on a camera, it shields the inner parts of the eye from dust, germs, and harmful UV rays. Next, we move on to the iris, the colorful part of the eye. This is akin to the aperture in a camera, controlling how much light enters the eye by adjusting the size of the pupil, the dark circle in the center of the iris. Speaking of light, it then passes through the lens, the transparent structure behind the pupil. You can think of it like the lens of a camera, adjusting its shape to focus light onto the retina. The retina. This light-sensitive inner lining at the back of the eye is like the film in an old-school camera. It captures images, which are then converted into electrical signals. Finally, these signals are sent to the brain via the optic nerve, the eye's very own high-speed data cable. The brain then interprets these signals into the images we see. Each part of the eye plays a crucial role in the process of vision, from the protective cornea to the image-capturing retina and the data-transmitting optic nerve. It's a seamless, intricate process that allows us to perceive the world around us. Now that we know the parts, let's understand what each one does. Imagine the human eye as a well-oiled machine, where each component has a unique role, working in harmony to create the miracle of sight. We'll start with the cornea, that clear front surface of the eye. Acting like a window, it lets light in and helps focus it as it enters the eye. It's like the doorman of a grand hotel, ensuring that the right amount of guests, or in this case light beams, are allowed in. Next, we have the iris, the colorful part of the eye that makes each of our eyes unique. Its function is akin to a camera's aperture. It controls the amount of light that enters the eye by adjusting the size of the pupil. Picture it as a curtain on a stage, opening and closing to control how much of the show the audience can see. Speaking of the pupil, this black circular opening in the center of the iris is the gateway for light. It's the entrance to the grand show of vision. Like a tunnel, it ushers in the light to the lens. The lens, a clear, flexible structure located behind the pupil, is the star of the show. Think of it as the main performer on stage. It focuses the light onto the retina, just as a performer would captivate an audience. It does this by changing its shape, a process known as accommodation. Finally, we have the retina and the optic nerve. The retina, lining the back of the eye, is like the audience, receiving the light and transforming it into signals. The optic nerve, then, is the messenger. It carries these signals to the brain, where they're interpreted as the images we see. It's a symphony of intricate processes and components, all working together to create the wonder of vision. From the welcoming cornea to the communicating optic nerve, each part plays a key role in the grand performance that is sight. As you can see, each part works together to provide us with the ability to see. So, how does this all come together? Well, let's take a moment to appreciate this marvel of nature. The process of vision begins when light rays from an object enter the eye through the cornea, the clear front window of the eye. The cornea's job is to refract or bend the light onto the lens. The lens then focuses these light rays onto the retina, a light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye. Here, the light rays are converted into electrical signals. These signals are then sent through the optic nerve to the brain. Now, let's not forget the iris and pupil, the dynamic duo controlling the amount of light entering the eye. The iris adjusts the size of the pupil to regulate this. In the brain, the visual cortex processes these signals, creating the images we see. It's a complex yet seamless process achieved through an incredible collaboration between different parts of the eye and the brain. And that, in a nutshell, is how our eyes work to provide us with the gift of sight.